disaster last night, the USA losing to Panama. Tim Weah sent off in the 18th minute. My name is Zach. This is I Know It's Called Football. Tim Weah, 100% the villain in the loss last night, losing his cool. Something off the ball. You looked at it at first and just thought it was a push or a shove. Have we seen worse in CONCACAF? Perhaps we have. But in my opinion, it's completely, it's 100% a red card. Of course it is. He punches the guy in the back of the head, essentially. Again, I look back at some challenges that we've seen, especially USA and Mexico. Panama and the USA have had some pretty fiery altercations, I suppose you may call them. But look, you look at the challenge. It's a red card all day long. Tim Weah totally lost the plot. And the worst part about it now is that he'll be unavailable for what is most likely a must-win game against Uruguay. And I say most likely because, yes, there's a chance that Panama lose or Panama draw, and the USA could get a result against Uruguay. But we've made it so difficult for ourselves now that we are backed into a corner. Most likely no Matt Turner. Obviously, Tim Weah will be suspended, and from what I saw from Horvath last night, not really tested. I mean, that first shot, the fizzing, dipping ball, you would expect any goalkeeper in the world at the top level to save that. Thought he could have done better with the second goal that they scored. I look at Matt Turner and the saves that he's made in his time with the U.S. national team, and I just, hindsight, I don't know what it is, hope. To see that. I mean, it's right at him. It's awkward because it's so close to him. Obviously, he gets two hands on it, but just not enough to push it away. Look, let's go back to the Tim Weah red card. He's come out now, obviously, and said his piece, and he lost his cool, and he mentioned the tactics of Panama, got under his skin. He's sorry for what he put the boys through last night, the suffering, and they were suffering. They were defending so well throughout the entirety of the game, looking dangerous on the counterattack, looking dangerous in possession of the ball. It's what you expect, someone to say. And in my opinion, it's just that. It's just a statement. You can't take anything. You can't then. It's kind of a nothing statement. You expect an apology, but who does it help? It doesn't help anybody at the end of the day. We know he lost his cool. We know these tactics of Panama work. This is what they do, it's funny because the way he was sent off, when he saw the referee walking towards him, he showed no remorse. There was no arguments. I thought Balogun was sort of trying to argue a little bit, but. In my opinion, seeing that, I feel like something must have been said. I said in a tweet actually that the player probably deserved it. I still stand by that. We know the type of football team Panama are. It's sort of your typical dirty football CONCACAF team. And I say that knowing full well that they actually played some pretty good football last night. The way they moved the ball around, some very, very dangerous crosses from their fullbacks throughout the game, and it's a shame because they just tarnished their reputation, their football reputation, with just being this sort of nasty team. I mean, the tackle on Christian Pulisic last night was just a perfect example of that. Now I know those two players came together and sort of shook hands, and okay, I understand fouling someone for the sake of stopping an attack or a counterattack or whatever it is, but that was just it was absolutely criminal. That tackle on Pulisic, and I think probably lucky to walk away from that injury free as of now. I haven't heard anything other than that. So, again, like I said, have we seen worse in CONCACAF? The Tim Weah challenge, perhaps. But again, going back to it, I don't want to see anybody pretending like that's not a straight red. I thought the referee had a much better second half. All things considered, Blackman wasn't even shown a yellow for injuring Matt Turner. Obviously not even going for the ball, just making himself a nuisance. Any contact on the goalkeeper these days is a foul, but I thought the way he ran into him, sort of barged into Turner. Obviously played the rest of the first half, but clearly something was bothering him. I have to wonder, does that leg injury or the way he landed on his shoulder, I know they said it was a leg contusion or something like that. Did that affect, excuse me, his ability or inability to dive for that deflected shot from Blackman? Again, I don't know. There's a lot of I don't knows about this game. Some things are maybe better left unknown, I suppose. But again, no booking for that. No booking for the player who tried cheating the referee into giving a penalty. I mean, a clear dive, clear as day. Carter Vickers even had time to pull out of the challenge. Lucky he didn't make contact, because obviously it could have been bad for the Panamanian player. But no booking for trying to cheat the referee, and no booking for the player who injured Matt Turner. So that was a little bizarre for me. Not that it could have made a huge difference on the game, but you're talking about 19 fouls from Panama compared to the USA's 4. And okay, they both have a red card, so you look at the severity of them, and yes, both red cards were deserved, but it's just the way that teams like Panama play. I have to keep going back and circling back to this Tim Weah decision. This is what they're going to do, because it's how they have to get an advantage. They have beat us in the Gold Cup a couple of years ago, but again, the USA, a far better footballing team and country, obviously. But this is what they do. The sort of Jedi mind tricks, and unfortunately, we succumb to those, and caused us to lose the game. So, look, like I said, they actually played pretty good football, albeit against a 10-man USA. But again, sort of touching on the referee, the first half, 5 minutes of added time, I thought could have been 7. Again, it doesn't. I'm not complaining that we could have scored a goal, but I can't help but talk about it, because I don't understand how that's possible. The goalkeeper injury itself was like 5 minutes. 2 goals that were scored, there's celebrations for those goals, so I don't get it. But the worst part was the second half. 4 minutes of added time should have easily been 8. Easily should have been 8 minutes. And you're talking about the second red card, all the coming together, all of those fouls in the second half. Again, 19 fouls in the entirety of the game. And I thought it should have been 8, maybe should have been 9 minutes of added time. Even Stu Holden had mentioned that throughout the commentary and throughout the second half, and I thought it had to be. And again, I'm not complaining that we could have won it, we could have tied it. I'm just saying, from a refereeing standpoint, I don't understand how that number came about. Cut in half. Panama were down to 10 men. It was 10v10. Great opportunity to maybe tie. And again, I'm not saying we could have. I'm not complaining. I don't understand how 4 minutes was added to the end of that second period. So, again, like I said, no Tim Weah for Uruguay. That's really not, hopefully Brendan Aronson, can come in and make a difference there on the right wing. The substitutes I didn't understand. I understand, obviously, the only one really I could get behind is taking off Tyler Adams. We know he's not played too much football over the last couple months. Taking Balogun off, he was still a threat, scored a brilliant goal. Was still doing work defensively, looked sharp, looked full of energy. I don't know why he was taken off. Ricardo Pepi had a chance late in the second half, but again, there's no blame I'm putting on him at all, or any of the substitute for that matter. But I do think Horvath could have done better with the second goal. I thought, Vickers obviously lost his man. There was 3 defenders around that Panamanian player, and unfortunately, he was tricky enough to get in. It was a really good finish from him as well. So, look, that's about it. Monday we go again against Uruguay, and what is a must-win. Don't be fooled that a draw can get us qualified. I want to win. These are the teams that you need to beat: Uruguay, Brazil, Argentina. These top teams. Don't expect Bolivia to do us a favor. They just got absolutely battered 5-0 by Uruguay last night. So, it's all up to them, and hopefully, Greg Berhalter can do something with this team and get us over the line. So, guys, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, I do really appreciate it. A little bit of